Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Radio Bypass is committed to bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard and bring occasional conversations with the talented musicians creating the music. Today is a really exciting day for me because we are joined by my friend and one of my all-time favorite singers, Mr. Robin McAuley. How you doing, buddy?
Ralph, it's a pleasure to be back here talking to you. Thank you, Radio Bypass. It's my time is yours, sir.
Well, thank you. And I love the shirt. I love the shirt. Thank
you love that shirt? Yeah, you love that shirt?
Thanks for the endorsement.
Radio Bypass rocks.
I love it. I love it. So Robin has been hearing from me on and off for the last year or so because he's been involved in so much stuff. Right now, his current release that just came out February 17th is Robin McAuley Alive. He just put out another solo record in 2021 that I don't have the physical CD with me. I don't know where I must have left it in my car.
Okay.
So this is brand new. Then we also haven't talked to Robin since this fine second Black Swan record came out. And Robin's just been so busy. New album, last album, Standing on the Edge, was 21. This is the beginning of 23. 2 Black Swan albums, 2020, 2022. Wow, what a prolific period for Robin McAuley.
Yeah, and a lot of fun doing it. So I'm still having a blast. I suppose I'm particularly humbled and extremely happy that people are listening to it, and the comments have been very positive, and you can't ask for more. So it's nice to know that you do something that somebody likes, and
right.
There's lots more. There's lots more. There will be a third Black Swan.
Yes.
And so we're looking forward to that. Very hard to pin everybody down, but we seem to manage it and we get it done. And yeah, here we are. A great start to the 2023. Can you believe it's 2023?
I cannot. Oh, so the new record, Alive, is it only me or did you find this a little funny too? I love the sequencing because track 1, Alive. Track 2, Dead as a Bone.
Yes, yeah.
I love it.
So, I was supposed to actually submit everything to the label as far back as June of 22. And I was in Europe. I was touring with Schenker. The producer, Alessandro Del Vecchio, who also did the Standing on the Edge record with me, also mixes the Black Swan stuff. He happened to be in Sweden on the same festival. And I got a chance to see him throughout the day. And I think we headlined that one. So I saw him sort of mid-afternoon. I went, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm really late with this record. And he goes, well, I'm here, so I'm late too. and we hadn't really even gotten into it, and that's how late we were. And we decided, here we are. It's another solo record. But we'd made a conscious decision earlier. I was really insistent that I would use the same musicians because I really like those guys. Andrea Cerveso on guitar is just kills it. I love his melodies. He's just great what he brings to it. Nicholas Papapico on drums, and of course Alessandro Del Vecchio does the engineering, producing. He plays bass. And so we wanted to give it a little harder edge. And they throw a bucket of songs at me. That's what the process is. They just throw the kitchen sink at me. I think I had 20, 30 songs. And I dwindled them down. I picked my 12. And then I shoot the list off to Alessandro in no particular order.
Right.
And he goes, this is great. Just go for it. And so I demo everything, I write everything, and I get into a zone. I think one of the first tracks lyrically and melodically that I wrote was Alive. And of course, the label always comes to me and they go, so do you have any ideas for the cover? And that's the worst thing to ask me because as I'm writing, I'm thinking covers, So when I came up with Alive, I was already in cover mode. And I think you know, I love old vampire movies. I love old Hollywood, old Frankenstein movies. And the first thing that came to my mind was Frankenstein. And I'm thinking, alive, electric charge, everything. And I went, I have to somehow translate that to the cover. And as I'm going through, and I get into a zone, the song is done, I move on, I move on, I move on. So when it came to the track listing, I'm going, I got to have fun with this. I just got to have fun with it. But also, they just segued the feel of the song, despite the title.
Right, right.
Just the feel of the song, just, you know, the key as you move along, everything has to feel, has to move. And it wasn't until I finished the list, I'm going, oh, holy shit, alive, dead as the bone, feels like hell, I can't go on. The endless mile, bless me, Father. Oh my God. And I'm going, where the hell was your head at, McAuley? You know, and people go, oh my God, how did you have this and this and this? And I'm going, you know, I don't know, because I was there. I was there. Oh, my son just brought me a cup of coffee. That's awesome.
Nice. Hey, can you get me one too? I need a refill.
Yeah, Ralph wants a cup of coffee. So you get into this mode, and I'm not thinking. I'm thinking more cover art than I am thinking song titles. And then I get into it, but then I have to put it together, and then I'm going, oh man, this could backfire big time. And I sent it to Alessandro, and he goes, I absolutely love it. And I was kind of pissed off because he never at any point as the producer, he never goes, just change that there and change this here. He went, this is great. I'm not changing anything. Go record the vocals and send me it, and we'll start mixing. And
Nice.
It was kind of odd that the title. So I guess my mind was moving around. I have no idea where I was. This is the honest to God's truth.
Right.
But there's a thread. I think.
So this whole thing, this whole image was kind of something you kind of had an idea on.
So
even while you were writing the song.
How do we bring alive into some sort of imagery? And then you know, I get a little sort of topical, and then they go too far away from me sometimes, and I'm thinking, okay, currently we are in the middle of, there's a lot of, I'm not going to mention it, but there's a lot of politics about, babies and incubators. And I'm not even going to go any further than that. But right. I want to create some sort of a old Frankenstein laboratory. I wanted to create this electric charge and sort of create this positivity, because what we discussed before the record button got hit, so much negativity
right
around us, so much aggression, so much of all of that. And I thought alive is a very positive, no pun intended, because there is a positive charge. And I really wanted to sort of inject that just in my thought process as I was doing it. The rest just sort of fell into place.
Right.
And then I wanted to create that and see what we could do. So when we did the photo shoot, Enzo Marzio, who I always work with for Frontiers, we have the best time. And he goes, what crazy shit do you have for me this time? And I said, and he knows that when we do photos, I just absolutely, I don't like being a solo artist. I don't consider myself a solo artist. I feel much more secure around a bunch of guys. So when you shoot a solo video, there's just you and the cameras.
Right.
And it is so awkward. And I'm going, what the hell am I going to do? And because you're relying on, rubbing shoulders with a band member. And similarly for the photo shoot, Enzo knows I just hate standing up against a wall or whatever. Like, it's just so over. It's just, as they say, it's so last year, So I said, look, here's what we need to do. I want somehow to, and I'd had a rough outline of the cover, and I said, I need to get this into these photos.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, you know how difficult that is? And I went, I know. And he goes, how do we do this live? And I went, we do post-production. So, we did all of the stills, and then we just start to pull the charge out till we till we got to the big charts. And he did an absolutely monstrous job on it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great as you go
And
through
it's
the
just,
CD
it was
booklet.
just fun. It was fun. And again, if you know me, don't take yourself too serious. It's just fun. It's just
Right.
fun with cameras and post-production and ideas. And we just try to translate it and have fun with the music. And the same as we did with the video for Alive, it's like when we hit that chorus, I want every light in this sort of warehouse setting to be on so that it goes bang, right? The same as it is with Frankenstein, once here he comes. and
I love it.
We laugh our asses off when we're doing it,
I bet.
And we don't always get it right, but that's kind of where it goes. And so track listing is we definitely go down the rabbit hole many times, then we come back up again, and then we go back, because how do you go from dead as a bone to bless me Father to feel like hell?
Well, yeah, exactly. And when I first got this, I saw track 8 is My Only Son. So I thought, I wonder if you're, even though you have 2 boys, is this maybe going to be about your children? Obviously, once I heard the song and heard the words, I'm like, nope, it's not about your boys.
It's actually a true story. It's a true story. And that son is actually still in a California jail for the rest of his life. And the short story is, you could watch a movie called, I think it's My Mother's Son, that Mary Tyler Moore played the lead role in that. And it's basically a story about this woman called Santa Keams, who was married to a wealthy realtor who hobnobbed with the Carters, actually, in the White House. And through questionable circumstances, he died. But what really pissed her off was he did not leave his fortune to her. He left it. He had 2 sons. He left it to his children.
Mm-hmm.
It's really ticked her off, and because now she doesn't have all the wanga that she thought she was going to have. And she went on this. She had her own son with him, and she kind of had this incestuous affair with her son. She molded him to be like her, and they went on this, I think what they at least were able to convict her of was at least 6 murders. And they just got involved with people in Hawaii and all in the islands, and they were just embezzlement. They were just getting into their properties and killing off people, but not before they had them sign it over to them. And they eventually got caught in New York. This lady that owned a high-rise apartment, and they basically killed her off, but not before they had her sign all the stuff away to them. And it was such a mess at the murder scene that they were so hyper on the whole event that some of the weapons were found in their car, and they just did it all. The body was never found, which was interesting.
Wow.
The body was never found, but they were convicted, and then Mom, threw her son under the bus, and she goes, it's all his idea. It wasn't my idea. I couldn't, look at me. I'm a little lady. I would never do this. Anyway, she got convicted, and then she died in jail many in California many years later. And then he what is the term? He instead of getting the death sentence, he did a plea bargain.
Yeah.
And he got life upon life upon life for all of the murders. And there's a movie called My Mother's Son with Mary Tyler Moore, she was highly acclaimed for, because not the type of role that she normally did outside of her sitcoms and that sort of stuff. So anyway, you asked, you have it.
That's really interesting. I did not know it was based on anything real.
I love somewhere, Jeff Pilson. Jeff will always say when we're doing the Black Swan stuff, he will go, there's always a story, isn't there? There's always a story. And it makes it more interesting for me, because it's not sort of, I said, she said, I saw, you saw, sitting on a seesaw. And I love a story. I love a story, and I love to get into it and read on it. And I'll stop everything in the middle of writing until I'm comfortable. And there's obviously has to be something in the music that sends me down that rabbit hole. And
Right.
that particular song you were asking about, Tommy Denander, that particular music Tommy sent to me as he did Fading Away. And there was something about the music that said, this has to be something, subject matter just a little bit different. And I told Tommy, I said, this, by the way, is about this. And he goes, whatever.
But regarding Fading Away?
Yeah, My Only Son.
Oh, My Only Son. Okay. Yeah, because Fading Away.
Swedish. He's Swedish. He lives in Sweden. And he's going, yeah, whatever. if that's what you say, I believe you.
Well, so, I like the stories behind the lyrics.
All my work is like fruit, you know, it's fruitless. It's like nobody gives a shit, you know.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, no, that's really cool. But I thought you were saying there was a story behind Fading Away too, because I think I told you last weekend that at that moment was like my favorite track on the record for that round of listening. And I've only gotten a chance to listen to it in full 2 more times since then. And right now that is still leading my pack for me. I'm loving that song.
Oh yeah,
so
it's got a great that whole
way it opens too. Like from the second it opens.
Whole verse section is really, really cool. And yeah, I don't know what rabbit hole I went down for that. But I'm sure there was one, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought Alive is an appropriate title for you. I mean, now it's very interesting knowing what you were thinking thematically and everything, but because you're so alive and because you've been so prolific lately, I thought this is the perfect title because you are very alive.
You know, we touched this earlier. The news media is, you know, it's all sensationalized, everything, but there's not good news to report anyway. And I was watching something or other about, you know, all of the stuff, the shootings that were going on in the shopping malls and all of this stuff, and people being followed, and then the universities, the girls have been trailed, and I went, man, you know, why isn't there just, you know, it'd be a good time for a Jesus visit, you know.
Yeah.
a good time, no matter what your beliefs are, you know, if that's your Jesus there, you know, that it would be a good time to go, okay, everybody, little time out here, you know.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
That's kind of where I was going, that we are very resilient. I mean, we've had so much. You couldn't tell us 3 years ago that the world would come to its knees because of you know, a COVID disease. You couldn't.
Right.
But we did. We did. We shut up shop, and nothing was happening. And I think we came out, some of us, the other end, we came out great. Others not so good. And there is this constant aggression now, and it's like the real beast starts to show himself. And I think that's what Alive was. You can throw all of this stuff at me, but we are very resilient, and we know we have to get through it. And that's what it was. It was like, you can do this to me, but at the end of the day, it's down to us if we want to get through it and create some positive energy. And kind of where it was going. And yeah, so I called it oh boy.
But I love it.
I'm getting lost again.
But I love that you try to put positivity out there. We need it. And I do. Let's see, you end it with you, for you, blue, only for you, see the flames as I rise from the fire. So I like that, like not giving up, baby.
Yeah, you know, yeah. And it's like, you know, you can't keep a good man down. Somebody wrote a great song about that, right?
Right.
And we do. We just have to go forward. We just have to keep chipping away at it, and of course we can do it. It's just we have to fix things as we go. That's all it is. And God forbid I be the one to tell you how to do it, but if I can shed a little light and a little energy, and then it's my pleasure.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I wish I had the answer too, because it's so easy to say peace, love, and rock and roll, which is what I believe in. But how do you get everybody to buy in? That's the issue.
Hey, listen, you know, we all sit on the fence going,
exactly. So since you mentioned Tommy Denander, that was something else I wanted to mention in part of this outpouring of Robin McAuley lately and how busy you've been. So I found this somewhere on the internet. I don't remember when. I think it was when it first came out. And I saw something. I said, I got to listen to this. If Robin McAuley's involved, I got to see what this is. And it was Radioactive and the song Move It.
Yes.
And I think it's really cool. And I think even that's a little different for you.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
It was actually before I actually started getting into Alive. It was between Generation Mind and Tommy says I'm working on a new record called Radioactive. There's a lot of different guests on there, a lot of different writing. He says, I have one song I'd really like you to do. And he sent me the track and he said, Mutt Lang co-wrote this. And he even sings some of the backup vocals. So the first track that I heard was actually with Mutt singing the entire song. And
Okay.
Tommy says, well, obviously Mutt doesn't want to do it, but I think it's going to be great. And so I went in and I cut and did all the vocal parts and everything. And I love it. I love the video. It's just a cool track.
It is.
Me, it's like people go, oh, it's a little bit different than what you usually do. And I go, you know what? I'm a singer. I love to do different things. My voice doesn't tell me you can only do that and never, ever step away from that.
Right.
And that's not how it works for me. Never has. Never
Right.
has. People go, oh, he just worked with this guy. Now it's all too poppy all of a sudden. And I'm going, get over yourself. It's music. At the end of the day, it's music. If you don't like it, don't listen to it.
Right. Exactly.
So just pick the stuff you want to listen to and then, have a great day. That's a little arrogant maybe, but music's for playing. I just so much of it. I just love to do it all. It's great fun.
Yeah. I mean, who cares if if there's a jazz song or whatever it might be that you were to sing on, who cares? A good song's still a good song.
I
mean, obviously we all, this is the hard rock stuff's maybe more in our wheelhouse of what we like to listen to, but you can still recognize a good song even if it's outside your main.
Yeah, and it was so much fun to do. And
so is Radioactive a band then?
Radioactive is one of Tommy's projects, and it is a whole album of material. It's really good. Some awesome stuff on there. I think I have a second track on there. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I have 2 tracks on there. And Tommy and I usually, because on Standing on the Edge, we have 2 tracks on there as well. Mm. And Tommy said, okay, 2 for you. Now you owe me 2. And so the 2 I gave him back was Move It and there's another really cool track on Radioactive. I can't remember. I'll think of it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that too.
He goes 2 for you, 2 for me. And he's got 2. It's Fading Away and My Only Son. We have together on Alive.
Right. So I was just looking because I knew I saw his name on here. I just couldn't remember which track.
It's 5 and 6 or 6 and 7, something like that.
Got it. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, yeah, because that song I like it a lot. So what else before we talk a little bit about Generation Mind, since we didn't get a chance to do that, keeping an eye on the time too. What else should we know about this wonderful record?
My son Casey sings backups on about 4 or 5 tracks like he does on the Black Swan stuff.
Right. That's got to be really neat for you.
Oh, it's a blast. He goes, I'm singing on this. And I go, do you want to sing on it? He goes, well, I sang on the 2 Black Swan records. Why shouldn't I be singing on this? And I said, well, if you got your chops together and start practicing more, I said, I would have you throw down some rhythm guitar tracks. Really? I could do that? And I said, yeah, but when I say go, we're ready to go.
Right.
And you have to be ready when we hit the studio. And it's like, Dad, enough. Okay, we won't do it. Because I'm a sucker. I go in with a blueprint and I know exactly what's going on. And once that green light's on, I'm in record mode. And I know what has to be done. And how do I put this nicely? Can I say this on the air? I hate fucking around in the studio. although,
get in,
although,
get out, huh?
although that said, with Black Swan stuff, I can be behind the mic, laying down a lead vocal track, and Jeff's at the controls, and I'll think of something totally unrelated to anything that we're doing, and I go, "Did I ever tell you about that?" And suddenly it's like, "Huh? What?" And we could get sidetracked for a half hour, and we were going, "Is that a fact?" Right? And then we go, "Oh, we better finish the song."
That's so funny. That's
Yeah,
so funny.
and I think that's what makes it so easy and so much fun. And it's like, it's like we're just regular Joes,
Right. Who just happen to have some very special talent.
Well, we just no, look, well, thank you for that, but we just have we just like to laugh.
Yeah. Laughter's good.
We like to laugh.
Laughter's good. And I noticed on this record too, because you and I have talked before about microphones and stuff. I think I saw you use some different, 3 different mics on this recording.
Andy Zuckerman, who also engineered the Standing on the Edge stuff, and now I go to Andy when Jeff's not around. I go to Andy when I have a track from somebody else to record. I'll demo it at home, and then Andy did has a lot of contacts with Line 6 Studios and all their equipment, and I'm always asking him for, I'll see something, in Music Connection magazine, plug, and they'll always be introducing new mics, new vocal techniques. And I will go, "Hey, have we tried this one?" And then he try and get hold of it, and or he knows something about it, and he goes, "No, it's not going to suit your voice, but I do have this warm audio. I think we should try." And then I also use the Blue, the tube mic, which has a bunch of different settings on it. And I think I primarily used the Blue on Standing on the Edge record. And then when we came to Alive, we set up the Blue again, and because it's a harder edged record than Standing on the Edge, I'm singing in a completely different register, and I was like shutting this thing down. We were getting so much distortion on it, because it was just the range of my vocal was just shutting it down. And
Gotcha.
we tried different things. I would like the mic would be here, and I'd be singing over this way, just so I wouldn't be killing the diaphragm. And when we came up with the warm audio is closer to my all-time favorite. Jeff has an old Neumann 67.
Right.
And I have a very, very close relationship with that microphone. It's just, I love it and it loves me. And I can get away with stuff, and I can get right up here on it and scream into it. And it goes, "That's okay. Is that the best you can do?"
What else you got? What else you got?
And so it's either a 67 or an 87 Neumann are my 2 go favorites. So the Blue or the Warm is closer to the 67.
Right.
And it can take a good punch without disintegrating, even with a pop shield. And so we decided to use that, and ended up, for the most part, redoing what we did with the Blue tube mic, just so we would keep the sound consistent. And that's where we're at. I love trying out but new stuff. I don't want to waste too much time with it, so usually what we do is we'll pick a day before recording, like a Sunday afternoon or something, if Andy has time, and he'll just set up a range of mics, and then we would go in and scream out one of the songs that we're going to record.
Right.
And put the mic through its paces, and then we'll go, "Okay, that's definitely the one that seems more suited to this sound." And then it's set up, and then I don't have to have any time delays, no pun intended. When we actually come back to record, it's set up, and we're ready to go. I just come in, and he sets the tracks up. He's usually ready to go. It's great. He's awesome.
Gotcha.
And that's how we do it. Yeah.
You just made me think of it when you said that when you go into the studio, you've already got your whole plan in place. You know what you're doing. And that made me think about the microphones because I was going to ask you about that. That I noticed. Oh,
Yeah, even though, and I'm just a little pun for Warm Audio and the Blue Mics, they don't give me anything free just because I mentioned it. Yeah. So if you're listening,
I've been trying to get Warm Audio to like sponsor the show or something, but I've had no luck
this
yet.
is a really good one. You're using the Shure SM.
Yeah, some 7B version.
SM7B version is really good. Yeah, I tried it from my vocals, and it didn't have enough cut. Maybe I should try it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good mic. Obviously, it's used on a lot of recordings.
Excellent.
For my thinner voice, speaking too, I feel like maybe it's not. Maybe instead of a dynamic, maybe I do need a condenser or something. I don't know. Right. I feel like sometimes this doesn't quite work as well as it should for me either. But it is a good mic though.
Excellent mic. Yeah.
I mean, and versatile, right? I mean, I've heard of drums being recorded with it, guitar cabinets.
It's a tried and tested. It's a war horse.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so before we bore everybody with microphone technology that probably only you and I care about, and before we run out of time, a little bit about Generation Mind. So this came out toward the beginning of last year. It was almost 2 years to the date, almost.
Yeah.
From the first Black Swan.
Right.
Obviously, you guys did not get a chance to tour behind this one either. But how did the record do for you guys?
The reviews were awesome. Everybody to date said, "Oh my God, we loved Shake the World, but we think and didn't think you guys could do it, but we think you guys have taken it up several notches." It's the same story, the same questions. Why can't you tour? Why can't we see you live? And for those who don't know, Red Beach tours extensively with Whitesnake when Whitesnake are out, and if not Whitesnake, then Winger. And Jeff, of course, spends every waking hour with Foreigner, and of course he produces a lot of other bands, and now he's involved with Revolution Saints, also on Frontiers. So he's an extremely busy man. That said, if we did have the time, we're chomping at the bit to actually bring Black Swan live and make it a reality as opposed to a project. And a lot of what I liked about a lot of the comments were, as a project, quote unquote, it sounds like a band and not a project. And that's, I think that's something that I think we bring to it because we collectively we love the band. We don't want to call it a project per se. We love the band, and we think we have a great deal of fun with the songwriting. I mean, when you are okay, my wife has to leave the building.
Hi Gina, bye Gina. Have a good day.
She's nursing. When they send me songs, it's very intimidating because Jeff Pilson is a great songwriter.
Right.
He has a great pedigree, and Red Beach, writing massive hits in the Winger days at the age of 17 or something. So, when they send me stuff, I'm thinking they don't need me to write this stuff. They should write it. But that's the element extra that we get. It's not Winger, it's not Foreigner, but all of those people are there, in the pedigree. And then I bring whatever it is that I bring, and we get Black Swan out of it. And of course, let's not forget Matt Starr bringing the thunder in the background there.
Right.
And it seems to work really well, and people love them, love the songs, and
so much, yeah.
And love the band, and we'd love to play live. I mean, we'd love to go live.
I mean, this record too, I don't know what my favorite is really, but Miracle, I think is just a great song.
It's a wonderful. Yeah, it's great.
I don't even know. I mean, Generation Mind itself is cool. Killer on the Loose. I mean, yeah, I that's what I struggle with, with all.
I think my favorite was always, if everybody has a personal favorite. I think Eagles Fly was always a favorite of mine because I was a big War of the Worlds fan,
mm-hmm.
and there is something when Reb's playing his riffs. There's always something. There's always something that he does that I always talk to him about. He goes, "I did. I don't remember that." And I said, I got the inspiration for Eagles Fly because there was just one little lick on the intro that reminded me of Jeff Lynne's War of the Worlds album, and there was a sound that he put on there that just that one lick reminded me of the alien sound that he had put on the record. And Reb's looking at me going, "Dude," I guess he's like going, "I have no idea what you're talking about, right?" And I said, "Well, but I do. And because I heard that sound, I went, oh my God, War of the Worlds." And so off I go on this other tangent. And of course, we made a video for Eagles Fly, and I wanted this sort of post-apocalyptic alien invasion thing. We're down in the empty swimming pool and all of that.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yes.
And we found this abandoned house, and
Right.
the kids are hiding away because it's their last hurrah before the aliens come and catch them. and that's where that whole thing came from. And Reb is scratching his head, and he goes, "Well, that's a cool song, dude." It's great though. It's just so much. It's just unattached to it,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And okay, so Black Swan, number 2, and then there is plans in the works for number 3.
Yes.
Just a question again, probably of timing and getting everybody together.
Yeah. I do know that the label were hoping that they would have it by the end of the year, this year. I'm not sure how possible any of that is. We could possibly get some of the writing done, but I think realistically we wouldn't see it till the beginning of 24.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Like kind of around this time, I would imagine. Yeah.
Good. Okay. And then circling back, of course, now to the most current stuff. When we're talking about live dates for Black Swan, I'd like to get everybody together and hopefully, maybe, knock wood, we'll see that sometime. What about for your own record? Any
I will be performing at the Frontiers Festival, albeit in Milan. But I'm talking to promoters right now to build shows around the festival. So with the same band, so we can take it live, and hopefully that will come to fruition. And we're working hard to try and make that happen. And if it works in Europe, and all of the gods are in our corner, we'd love to play some shows here. Obviously, that goes without saying. But that's the plan. That's the plan. Sooner, I want to say, as opposed to later. I like to strike while the iron's hot. So
yeah. Good.
It's all planning, as you well know. You can go, yeah, I want to do that. But yeah, it takes planning.
Right. Everything, the stars have to align just so. That's for sure. But good though. At least some of this, you will get a chance to sing some of this live for sure at that Frontiers Festival.
Yeah, and there's a good chance that Winger will be on the festival, and if Winger's on the festival, Reb Beach will be on the festival, and if Reb Beach is on the festival and I'm on the festival, I hear a Black Swan song somewhere.
Excellent.
I can hear it. Yeah.
Excellent. Those lucky Europeans that they'll get to see that.
Yeah. And I know the label is very excited about that because they particularly want Black Swan on the festival. But never say never. Never say no. Never say never. Yeah. It's just the amount of rehearsals and everything that goes in. You can do it really fast, but we don't want it just fast for the sake of it. We want it done right.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, here in the United States, we'll keep our fingers crossed and keep praying to the rock and roll gods.
You'll be the first to know.
I'll be looking for that text. I want to see that come through. And then we're getting close on time here. No more Michael Schenker dates right now, right? Because you ended up doing a lot more than you thought you would.
I did all of the European tour, and at the end of that tour and post that tour, I had an email asking me if I'd be interested in doing blah. and we discussed what blah was. I can't say it right now. And I said, that sounds really exciting. So I think what he has to do is run the gamut on the last record that Ronnie Romero sang on. I'm sure there'll be more Ronnie, but this was something else. This was something else, and so we'll see if where the time factor runs on that. So something
Gotcha.
I'd really like to do. And so they're down for a bunch of festivals already this year with Ronnie. There's one festival I really would love to have done. There's a festival and the Rory Gallagher Festival is in Ireland, and I would really have loved to be on that. And Ronnie, you have no business being on that show. Just saying. But yeah, so I would love to have you. I'll do that when you can do the rest. But there you go. Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Right. I get it. And then the Rating the Rock Vault in Vegas that you were part of for a number of years. That's coming up with an anniversary, and you're not currently doing it on a regular basis, but you're going to be doing something with
10 years is coming around in March, if not before. And there's a big corporate show going on in beautiful Jamaica, and that transpired as a result of you know how it is. You get corporates who want to take their company on a trip as a thank you for all their hard work and energy, and they've decided to take their company to Barbados for a trip, and they specifically asked if I could be part. They want Rock Vault to do it, and they asked if I'd be part of the show, and obviously they know I'm not. I decided not to go back into the show on a regular basis, so I'll go back into Vegas for one night on March 11th, and then we'll take off down to beautiful Jamaica the next day, and so I'll be back in to celebrate. Plus, I must add, they will move homes from Duomo venue inside Rio, and they will move to the Hard Rock over on the Las Vegas Strip, April 22nd, I believe. So Rock Vault will move to a new home, and we may come in and wave the flags and give them a good kickstart. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. So that's what you got going on currently. Social media, if you guys want to follow Robin McAuley on Facebook, he's at Robin McAuley Rock. I think I saw more than one on Twitter, so I'm not sure which one you use.
Yeah, we're trying to fix the Twitter one. They're all over the place.
Yes, I noticed that.
We're trying to lock that one down. I don't even know how that came about. But the Instagram official is me, the Facebook official, and then there's a second Facebook one. So if you're on Facebook and you're looking for the new Alive photos, those are the official ones, the same as it is on Instagram. We're currently fixing the Twitter.
Excellent.
And of course, Frontiers Music SRL will give you any and all of the information and updates. If you go on the YouTube channel, for any of there's 3 videos up there from Alive, Feel Like Hell and Can't Go On videos. And if you just drop down, you will get all of the Frontiers order information if you are that kind. And if not, just give me a like and say something nice. And step and repeat and play it really loud.
Yeah, I love that. You always recommend playing it loud, because that's exactly what I do. So at the end of this interview, I want to add a track that my friend Robin picks from Alive to this interview for people to hear. What do you suggest, sir?
Very topical. Endless Mile was my little tribute to Ukraine. And I just saw the masses of people heading towards the Polish border, and I went, that Endless Mile, but you will be back.
Right.
And yeah, it's an appropriate track.
That's perfect. Yeah, I can't believe that's a year already going on
At an
over there.
appropriate time. Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right. Excellent. So everybody, when you see this end, stick around and hear Endless Smile, the Endless Smile from the wonderful Robin McAuley, a live record. Robin, this album, as always, is kick-ass. And of course, I'm a sucker for the ballad too. So you mentioned Can't Go On video being over there on YouTube. You guys, if you haven't checked it out, do. Beautiful song. Even my mother-in-law loved it, and she's not really a rock person. So,
thanks, Mom.
All right. Well, Robin, I'm going to try to keep you on time here. Thank you so much. I'm so glad.
Thank you so much.
I know you got a lot going on, so I appreciate that we're able to take some time to share the goodness that is Robin McAuley with the Radio Bypass audience.
Thank you, listeners. We love you very much and appreciate everything you do. And keep listening. And as we say, play it loud.
There you go. Crank it up. Here comes Robin right now. Just some audio. All right. So crank it really loud. Are you turning up the volume right now, everybody? All right. A little louder. All right. Here it comes. The Endless Smile. Robin McAuley, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.